Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my page, Athena the Artist. Thank you guys for clicking onto this video. As you know, that your energy is greatly appreciated here. Um, I start every video off by talking about how I won't be before you long, how this won't be an hour-long video. And I don't know if I can make that promise this time. Just because I didn't really have any plan for this video. Um, I kind of was in an introspective mode today where I've been doing a lot of thinking and pondering and meditating on myself, my own personal life and my own personal situation. And I've kind of been in that place all weekend. Um, I think it's just because the new moon is approaching, and I am thinking about letting go, thinking about letting things go. Um, if you've watched any of my healing water videos, where I talk about astrology, I teach astrology using myself as a case study in my own natal chart, my own personal life, my own personal business as they relate to natal placements and transits and things like that. You've probably heard me mention that I'm a Taurus ascendant, um, and that is in 0 degrees. So that is fully stepping into the energy of a Taurus, of having Taurus on my ascendant, excuse me, guys. Um, and learning about that energy as it relates to myself, the good and the bad. Um, and so Tauruses can be very stubborn. They can latch on to something, anything, an idea, a habit, an item, and it becomes a possession. It becomes a possession of theirs, which is why it's considered stubborn, because you latch on to something and then you get comfortable with it, and then you don't really um, want to let go or know how to let go. And as I said, I have Taurus on my ascendant, meaning on my seventh house is Scorpio. So um, I can become obsessed with the idea of holding on to something. It's almost like a hoarder. I hoard things, and that works to the good and the bad of me, because life is about letting go. Hence, my North Node being in my 12th house, um, detaching and letting go. That is what I need to work towards and learn how to. Um, Not just learn how to do it, but learn how to do it in a way to where I find the good in it. And I'm still working on that. I'm still working on being able to find the good and um, find peace and detachment, because, as I said, my Taurus ascendant, things make me feel good and I want to hold on to them. Taurus is an earth sign, so it's all about, and it's ruled by Venus, so it's all about things that make us feel good, things that make us comfortable, things that we become pleased with. And as I said, with Scorpio being in my descendant, it becomes an unhealthy attachment, especially in dealings with other people, especially in relationships. Um, today, today is 2 years to the day that I decided to release my marriage. We separated March of 2019. However, I was still holding on for a few months until 4th of July of 2019. And I'll never forget that day because, for one, it was 4th of July, and two, because of how I came about that decision to finally release my marriage, finally understand that it was over and I needed to let it go. No matter how much I wanted to hold on to it, um, and that would have been, that, was, as I said, a good and a bad, because it was good that I was able to hold on to a relationship for 13 years, make it all throughout my 20s, being um, in a relationship and married. And it was a good thing for the longevity of a relationship. However, when it was clear that the relationship was no longer serving my highest good and my highest purpose, rather it was hindering me from growth, I still had an issue with letting go. And that is where the negatives of that Taurus ascendant came in, because it was no longer benefiting me. It was no longer comfortable to me, and it was no longer making me feel good, and things like that. It was hurting me. It was keeping me from growth, and it was over. I just hadn't learned to let it go and start over, which is also what Scorpio is all about, which is my descendant. It's not just being obsessed with an idea, because Scorpio is a sign that could be obsessive, especially if it's your descendant, meaning your shadow. Um, then yes, it can be obsessive and possessive and things like that. Um, but it represents death and rebirth, the cycle of endings and beginnings. Um, and for me, the part that made me so afraid of it was the endings part, because I can never take into account that something would begin after the ending. I just focus solely on the part of ending, letting go, detaching, because I'm a Taurus ascendant and I don't want to let it go. My Mars in Virgo, also another earth sign, meaning I get anxious when it comes to dealing with things that have run their course, because my Mars is in the 29th degree of Virgo. So it's like moving on, because 29th degree is considered the last degree of a sign. So moving on to a new degree or a new experience or a new lesson makes me anxious. It gives me anxiety. Having to give up something that I've worked so hard for, Mars and Virgo, makes me anxious. And like I said, my North Node in my 12th house is all about letting go. Letting go of things that I've outgrown. Mars in the 30th or 29th degree. You've outgrown it. You've completed a lesson. You're done with it. But it's like you've been doing it for so long. The idea of moving on to something new can make you a bit anxious, or it makes me a bit anxious. So I'm working on, lately, I've been thinking about and putting more effort towards letting things go. Um, and today, I'm just thinking about different things in my life that I've held on to so tightly that they've cut my hands, because it's like holding on to razors, you know, barbed wire fence, um, So, in the sense of letting go and letting things go that no longer serve me, I think that um, I almost let go of the things that do serve me just because they make me nervous. Um, and that also has to do with my North Node in the 12th house, because that deals with spiritual matters. And because I get sometimes in a place where I get anxious and I worry, um, anybody with a life path 6, and my life path comes from 6 um, because it equates to the number 33. And I can choose to leave that as a master number 33 as my life path. But if I were to simplify it, it would make a life path number 6. And there are a lot of positive attributes about this life path. However, the negatives are anxiety and worry as they relate to the 6th house as well of Virgo, and of health. I mentioned about that in some of my previous healing water videos, as I explained my tendency for anxiety and worry. So I'm working on the fact that I worry and I get anxious, and then I might want to let go of things that I shouldn't let go of. Um, and a lot of the things that I think that I should let go of, that I shouldn't, have to do with spirituality and my spiritual practices, and that I've spoken about as well in my Healing Waters videos. Um, because in my South Node, I spend a lot of time being too practical, and too worried about details, details and responsibilities that I'm meant to let go of, in order for a higher order of consciousness to come through me. Um, I used to focus a lot on the mundane. I would say in past lives, in my past life currently, I focus too much on the mundane, and I focus too much on things that, like, I created mountains out of, what is the phrase? Mountains out of something. I create a lot of obstacles myself when, if I just learn how to let go of certain experiences, learn from them, grow from them, but don't hold on to the experience itself, then I might be able to find more peace and happiness in the things that I do, that I'm supposed to keep. And those are the things that are my North Node, because they require me to come out of my comfort zone and try new things that I'm not used to, and that gives me anxiety. So letting go, and not allowing worries and fears to cause me to procrastinate or give up on things that I'm really supposed to be doing. So today I just wanted to do something for my subscribers, all 105 of you. Um, I wanted to just do a general reading for my subscribers to get a nice message, since I received a message this weekend on improvement and things I need to release, um, during this new moon, things that no longer serve me. One of those things is me feeling like I'm not being effective in my giving, or in being a healer, somebody who does things so that others can heal, or someone who does things not just for the benefit of themselves, but in order to give to others. I almost let that go because I don't always get the benefit of seeing how the work I do causes any change in anything. Um, and it's almost like your ego wants to be validated. It wants to know that something good is coming from its actions. And that's human nature, which is why I said ego, not in a bad sense, but in the sense of human nature. However, the sun card, speaking of ego, and the Ten of Wands, releasing burdens. Hmm. Um, the work that I do is truly a selfless work, and I'm literally releasing energy, releasing my own energy with the intentions and trust that I do nothing without intention. I do nothing without prayer and being cognizant of the words that I'm speaking and how they manifest themselves. Um, so I do things and I put my energy out there with certain intentions, and I don't always see the fruit of that, or I don't always see it right away. And sometimes I can want to give up because I feel like if I'm not serving a purpose or if I'm not being effective, then I'm wasting time. But a little bit of that is impatience. A little bit of that is fear, anxiety, and worry. And those are the things that I'm going to be letting go of because I'm tired. I'm tired of being so anxious. I'm tired of being so worried about whether the things I do will mean anything to anyone or if they mean anything to me, because I've gone through so much growth and so much transformation, but I don't always see the benefits of that right away. And so I can think, maybe all of this has been for nothing. So, in moments like this, when I'm doubting myself, I find it best that I give of myself. When I'm doubting myself, to take my mind off of the doubt is to do something that has nothing to do with my benefit. I don't know why it turns out that way, but that's the way it works for me. And all of it has to do with my sixth house because my north node is there. My south node is there. My sun is there. My Venus is there. My Mars is there. And a few other asteroids. So it's a house of service. So when I'm anxious and when I'm doubtful and when I'm worrying, Mars and Virgo in my sixth, and all of that is keeping me from, fulfilling my North Node purpose in my 12th house. Learn how to just let go of the anxiety and the worry, North Node in Aries in 12th house, and focus on giving to others. Sixth house of service. I'm sitting outside and it is the strongest smell of piss. Every time the wind blows, I smell pee. Anyways, so this is going to be just a general pull for my subscribers. Um, because I want you guys to know that I appreciate you. I appreciate the fact that you are subscribed to my channel. I don't know who you are. There's no way, like on Facebook, where you can scroll through your friends list and see pictures and know who people are. I don't know who you are, subscribers. But the fact that the ones that I did notice that subscribe to me, I don't know you people. You're strangers. However, something that I said or I did in my video or something that I put out there with the intention to give and to benefit someone else was a seed planted into you, or you are the fruit of a seed that I planted. And I'm going to start doing weekly general messages for you. I don't know if it will benefit all of my subscribers. However, at least one of you will benefit from the message that I divine from my cards. And I want to do this once a week. It's my way of watering my garden. Because as I said, all of you are the product of a seed that I planted, not knowing what would come of it. You became of it. The fact that you decided to stick around and continue to follow my journey, continue to benefit from the seeds that I throw out on this page. I appreciate you. I don't have a lot of subscribers, um, and I really try not to pay too much attention to it because I think that it's just another way for me to become anxious and worried about things that I can't control. Um, and I also think that when you start paying attention to who is subscribing to you, then you start doing things that aren't in alignment in order to increase your subscribers. And I'm not a commercial reader. I'll never do things just because I think that it'll increase my subscriptions. There are plenty of things that I could do that I see a lot of other um, healers and diviners and tarot readers on YouTube doing, and they have great success actually. Um, but that's not what my intention was when I started to do this publicly. My intention, I didn't even think that I would get 100 followers. I mean subscribers, but I did. And I want to show you guys that I appreciate you, whether it was just 5 of you, because when I started doing this, I only had 47. And that was after having my YouTube page up for at least 2 years. Um, so let me start giving to you. Let me start making sure that you guys are taken care of. So I'm just going to pray that I can pull a message for you, my subscribers. I've got my frankincense and myrrh going. I would like to have a message for my subscribers. Um, Something that they can keep in mind as we approach this new moon. There are 4 planets in retrograde right now: Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, not Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. Um, so this is a lot of opportunity to release, and not just release, but ponder on things, go back over things, revisit things. And with Pluto being retrograde, these things have to deal with your shadow, with things that you need to let go, because I'm thinking about the Tower and the Death card reversed, and they're all about needing to make a change, needing to release, not being afraid to allow a transformation, not being allowed to allow a personal transformation because you want to hold on to things. With all these planets in retrograde, now is the time to ponder and meditate on the things that you hold on to that may be hurting you to hold on to them. For me, it has a lot to deal with feelings and emotions, some that I've been carrying since childhood, and some that I've developed, some dealing with relationships that I've been afraid to let go of just because they made me feel a way that I wanted to keep. And it's almost like I'm afraid to see what else is out there because I found something that makes me so comfortable. Who wants to let go of things that make them comfortable for the unknown? I don't, because I have a Taurus ascendant. However, my North Node in my 12th house is about letting go because those things have become my undoing. My self-sabotage is worry and anxiety over things that I can't control. And they cause me to try to stop the natural processes of life, which is detachment, which is letting go. So, for my subscribers, for all of you, this message is for all of you, one of you, some of you. I'm just going to pull cards and then let spirit speak. Okay, I'm going to shuffle one more time. And I'm going to pray that this message that I pull out today is for you. It's for at least one of you. And I hope that you all know the beauty of transformation. And not that you all know the beauty of transformation, but that I can also learn to see the beauty in transformations, and that they're only as painful as your ability to trust the process. Just as sure as I gave that message, I received that message as well. All right. Messages for my subscribers. Messages for my subscribers. The moon. And on the bottom, the star in reverse. So I guess whatever was on my heart, whatever I've been pondering this weekend was the message for my subscribers. It's a general message because I was just talking about the new moon and being able to release things during this new moon that I would like to release. And I was talking about some of the things that I'm releasing. And fear of the unknown is one of them. On the bottom is the star in reverse. So the star in reverse is talking about, for one, lack of faith. So this message is a message that is for me. I'm not going to lie and say that this message ain't for me, but because it was on my heart to do this reading for my subscribers today, I feel like it's a message for all of us. And I want you to take everything that I just said prior to me pulling my card, the things that I was saying that was for me, that I'm working on, and also apply it to yourself. Because this is the moon card, so not only are we talking about this new moon where we are releasing things that no longer serve us, being afraid to release these things because you don't know what's going to happen when you do. Being afraid to release things because there are things that you don't know. They're hidden from you. And we're never going to know everything. in life. Even with these cards, there are still things that are hidden, like the moon, um, from our sight. However, as the moon rules our intuition and our ability to have faith in the unseen, we have to the trust the journey. There is a crustacean which rules Scorpio coming out of the water, and it is starting on a path. If you can see clear, there is a pathway that this crustacean is coming out of the waters to start on. It's a journey, and that path leads all the way into these mountains that you can barely see off in the distance, and they're gray. So that is the unknown. Those are unknown obstacles. They're unknown achievements, highs and lows. You just don't know when you start off in this journey, but you're trusting your intuition to do so. You're trusting your intuition on this journey of the unknown. And all you can do is continue to walk the path, continue to follow the path, and don't be afraid of the unknown. And also, don't lose hope and don't lose faith in the divine, because the star in reverse is a lack of faith that you're going to get what you desire. Upright, the star is all about our wishes being granted. It's about healing. It's saying whatever you desire, you can get it, because you have a balance of practical knowledge and spiritual knowledge working to your benefit. And because of that blend, that divine blend, you can achieve anything because of this practical belief in spiritual matters. But here it's a lack of faith that you will get what you desire, because so much on the path ahead of you is unknown. But during this new moon, just let go of your lack of faith, which comes from worry and anxiety. Worry about things that you don't know. And when I clarified it, you worry so much, you so focus, you think so much on whether you make the right decisions for your highest self, that sometimes you get stuck, and sometimes you don't make any decision because you're so afraid to trust your journey. You're so afraid of what you can't see. You're so afraid of any potential obstacles. You're afraid of, you just don't know what's out there. You don't know if these mountains are achievements or obstacles. However, you're still on this journey. And the moon is saying that even though I don't shine bright enough for you to see so far off into the distance, I shine enough for you to follow this path. and to see where you are right now. Trust where you are in the present. I shine enough light for you to take a footstep forward and continue taking footsteps forward. I'm not going to show you everything that's out there, like the sun, because there is a lesson that you need to learn in this, and this is to learn to have faith. So I'm only going to show you what you need to see to take a step forward. I'm not going to show you the entire journey because your faith is being exercised. And the reason for that is because you're so worried. You're so focused. You're so busy trying to learn everything you can or focus on everything you can in order to make the right decision that you end up not making a decision. You end up stuck and stagnant and confused about what you're supposed to be doing. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to make the right decisions. However, when it gets to the point where you start second guessing the decision that you made, because look, even in this Two of Swords in reverse, unable to make any decision, the moon is here as well, and it's the same crescent moon that we see on the face of the moon card. You focus so much on making the right decision that you end up not making any decision and not paying attention to the fact that your intuition is there and it will guide you. Even when you feel like you can't make a decision, even when you're second guessing the decisions that you made, the moon is there in the card, meaning whatever decision that you made in the upright, even though you didn't make it with your physical eyes because she's blindfolded, and you made it as a head over heart thing because the decision was made with the swords over the chest. So the heart wasn't involved as much and you couldn't really see. So it's like you trusted your intuition in this decision. But then you start wondering whether you made the right decision because you don't know, I don't know if what I'm doing is the right decision to make on my path moving forward. And when I clarified the inability to trust your intuition when making decisions, the Justice in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So this is a two card, which is all about balance and choices and decisions. This is a two card, which is all about balance and choices and decisions. Starts out in the mind, in the mental realm, and then so the inability to make a decision by trusting your intuition or your inability to trust the decision that you made is going to manifest in your inability to maintain physical manifestations of what you desire. And you end up making the wrong decision by not making any decision. So far, these are a lot of mental and intuitive cards. So I want to say that we're dealing with the crown area. We're dealing with the crown area of the tree of life where you have Kether, Chokmah, and Binah. divine guidance, wisdom, and understanding. So this moon is all about being divinely guided, receiving divine inspiration from your crown. Call it intuition, which is just a faculty of communication of the divine or with the divine. However, your intuition is divinely guiding you along this path, but somewhere along the line, you get caught up in whether you can trust your intuition because, for one, you can't touch your intuition. It's not practical. But the problem is that when you go back and forth with being able to trust your intuition and make decisions based off of your intuition, you do have tangible and practical results because you end up dropping the ball in the physical realm. So your lack of faith comes in with you not believing in your own intuition and believing on your own divine guidance. Somewhere along the process of receiving guidance from your crown and then processing it in your mind and in your mind's eye, it gets caught up somewhere from here, here, and then here with your two physical eyes because you know what your intuition is telling you. You know what you're being divinely guided towards. And even your third eye can see it. However, you can't see it with your physical eyes because it's not tangible. You don't see the tangible results. Like when I was saying in the first part of my video, I don't always trust what I'm doing or if I'm making, if I'm doing the right things as a healer and by sharing the things that I share in these videos and things like that because I don't always see tangible results. I don't always see how it manifests in the physical realm. And so I began to worry and doubt myself and then get anxious and then talk myself out of making any decision at all. And I can't be the only one that struggles with this because I felt the need to do this video for my subscribers. So that message that just came out was a message of having faith in your own intuition, having faith in your own divine guidance, and not being afraid to make decisions based on your intuition, not as much so logical and tangible, but being more comfortable with making decisions with your mind's eye versus your physical eyes. Because, as I was saying with the moon card, the whole entire path isn't going to be illuminated because the moon wants you to trust your intuition. So it's only going to illuminate enough for you to see what footsteps to take next, but it's not going to show you your whole path. And your eyes, they only see so far. They see a lot, but they don't see what's behind the scenes. They see what your physical senses can pick up. However, this eye, the eye that works with the crown, because the crown is where divine influence come in. Your mind is where mental influence comes in. So your crown works with your third eye, and your mind works with your physical eyes. And the issue comes in when You can override your mind and your physical eyes in order to allow your crown and your third eye to guide you, because that guides your higher self. And the mind and the two eyes are going to steer your physical body. So there's a mind and an eye for your spiritual body, which is your higher self. And that at this point, right now, that needs to be what you allow to guide your physical vessel, your spiritual vessel. And that is where your lack of faith comes in. And my lack of faith comes in because we're not trusting our higher self right now. And during this new moon, you need to let that go. You need to let go of your inability to trust your intuition, because we are all born with intuitive faculties, and we don't have them just for them to lay dormant. We have them there so that we can achieve the best of the best that we can achieve in this lifetime by merging our intuition with our 3D. And I think for me, and for a lot of us, we're having issues jumping from 3D to spiritual D. And one more message for my subscribers. One more message for my subscribers. Um, the Hierophant in reverse and the World in reverse. So the Pope, the Hierophant in reverse, to me is saying two things. Let go of whatever beliefs that you had up until this point, um, that make you think that the wisdom that you seek is outside of yourself. Even though this isn't the moon card, it still runs in par with the message that I gave with the first card I pulled, which was the moon card, and trusting your intuition and trusting your divine guidance. The Hierophant would be outside upright, it would be outside information. It would be churches and schools and things that you learn from outside sources that are beneficial. Not saying that the things that you learned are not beneficial. However, I got the card in reverse, meaning now is a time for you to trust your own inner wisdom and your own inner pope. Because at this moment, in this season, the answers that you need that are going to benefit you the most aren't going to come from outside sources. It's not going to come from the tangible source of wisdom, a pastor or a pope. It's not going to come from the 3D version of wisdom. It's going to come from inside. Your high priestess. I wonder if I'll pull the high priestess when I clarify this. Because the high priestess is the inner wisdom. It is the other half of the Hierophant card, outer wisdom. Trusting in outside sources to make decisions for you when you need to trust in yourself, in your own inner wisdom. And it requires a lot of faith. in the unseen, like in the moon card. And in the star reverse that I pulled on the bottom when I pulled the moon card, it requires faith in the unseen, faith in this journey that you're on, that you can't see the entire journey, but just know that your intuition is guiding you, and all the answers that you seek, all the wisdom that you need in order to make the best decisions for yourself, in order to be fully informed about what you need, are within. So stop looking for external validation of wisdom, of decisions, of beliefs. Trust in the wisdom that you hold, and trust in knowing that you are wise, and you do have spiritual wisdom and spiritual knowledge. It's not everybody else, it's you. You don't always have to read tarot videos. You don't always have to not read tarot videos, but watch tarot videos. Or you don't always have to um, go to your pastor every single time that you need a source of wisdom. You don't always have to go outside of yourself. These things are there to help you, sure enough. These things are there as a medium between the divine and the people. And these things and these systems are there to filter higher knowledge and higher wisdom through from the divine to the people to you. However, that doesn't take away the fact that you too are one of these mediums. And if you trust your intuition, trust your journey, and have more faith in the process and have more faith in yourself, then you won't doubt the decisions you make so much to the point where you don't make any decision or you make the wrong decisions because you've been juggling, going back and forth so much about which decision to make, when the whole entire time your intuition was leading your thoughts. Your intuition was leading your mind. You just were afraid to believe it. And that fear came from wanting to make the right decision. So when I clarified this advice to trust your inner wisdom, trust yourself. Trust yourself that you will make wise decisions. Trust yourself that you are being divinely guided and you don't always have to seek external guidance because it's you. It's within you. Clarified it. Make plans to release everything that kept you from trusting your intuition. So my general message was, and this was before I pulled the cards, this is what was on my heart all weekend for myself, was that I was planning on releasing things that held me back during the new moon. Planning to take an action. And what is that action? Releasing things that no longer serve you, negative attachments that block your intuition. Or that block you from trusting your intuition. Look, the high priestess is on the bottom. I was just talking about her being the equivalent to the Pope. I can't make this shit up. I said that you didn't always need to go outside of yourself. I said that the high priestess is the equivalent of the Pope because it is your inner wisdom and your inner guidance. Trust your intuition. Listen to your intuition. This wraps up the first card I pulled, the Moon card. So the message that I want to deliver to you all today, because every card that I pull already lined up with everything that I said prior to me pulling cards, and even all of the cards that I pulled. In this new moon coming up in a few days, if you're like me and you have been struggling with trusting your own intuition, because when you can't see how things are manifesting, you can't see the entire outcome of the journey, you tend to get anxious, you tend to second guess yourself in the decisions that you made because you don't see tangible results. This is what you need to let go of during this new moon. Your inability to trust your intuition and have faith. Faith requires belief in things that are unseen, untouched with our five senses. It requires you to use your inner senses, which is why the high priestess is there and why the moon card is there. It's why the whole path isn't illuminated under the moon, because the moon only shines so bright. It shines bright enough for you to see what's going on right in front of you. And that's all you need to know at this moment on this journey, is taking a step forward and trusting that every step forward that you're going to take is going to be lit up by the moon. So you don't have to worry about the end of the road. Trust your intuition and let go of everything that blocks your intuition. Like low self-esteem meaning your inability to trust yourself and your own power. Um, if you are a spiritual practitioner and sometimes you doubt your abilities, sometimes you doubt your power, and you start thinking, maybe this isn't for me. I cannot just be speaking to myself here. I don't want to just be speaking to myself here. Let During this new moon, I want you to focus on letting go of your inability to believe in yourself, your inability to have confidence in yourself. Work on self-care, nurturing yourself, nurturing your gifts, and nurturing your abilities. Whatever abilities or talents you have, whether you can sing, whether you can draw, whether you have a knack in dancing, track and field. Shout out to Shakari. Nurture your gifts by releasing everything that no longer serves you and keeps you from trusting your intuition and your ability to make intuitive decisions, because we're not speaking about making logical decisions right now. We're not speaking about using the mind and the eyes to make the decisions, or the brain and the eyes. We're talking about using the third eye and using our crown, our mind, our intuition in making decisions. Because right now, these are the decisions that we need to be making. We need to be trusting our inner self and our inner spiritual guidance in what decisions we're making right now, because we don't have all the answers. We don't know how things are going to play out 10 steps ahead of us. That's not illuminated right now. Trust your intuition, and at this time, nurture all of your skills and your gifts and abilities that make you powerful. Whatever those are, use this week, use this month, use this time, this new moon, to release your lack of self-care and then set your intention on nurturing your gifts and abilities, because they will bring you tangible results. Trust your intuition to help you make the right decision and release everything that held you back from nurturing your abilities and your gifts that will give you tangible results. Trusting your intuition, trusting your inner guidance, trusting your inner wisdom, even though it's something that is unseen, can and will bring you tangible results, as long as you trust your decisions that you make. Trust that you make the right decisions when you use not only your brain, but your inner knowing. Because remember, I said the eyes are blindfolded, and so is the heart. So this isn't really an emotional decision, and it's not really a logical decision, but there's still decisions being made based on the intuition. And we know that because this person is surrounded by water, yet they're on stable ground. And there's earth in the background. There's earth even in the midst of all this intuition. So you can trust that whatever decision that you're making is not just based on your intuition, but you're still making logical, earthy, solid decisions by using your intuition. It's a gift for you to use. You're out of balance when you're only making logical decisions, or when you're only making emotional decisions, or when you're only making material decisions. But when you allow your intuition, your higher self, and your inner knowing to lead you, then you make the best decisions for yourself. And I think I'm going to stop there because the mosquitoes are getting to me, and I'm ready to wrap this up. Just give me one more card as a parting word to my subscribers. Ace of Cups. So, in a sense, this would mean new love coming in. However, since we're talking about intuition, I want to say that this is all about your intuition being a gift. I'm talking to anyone who struggles with, or I'm talking to someone who has intuitive gifts, has spiritual gifts, but is afraid to use them, afraid to trust your gifts because they're intuitive. You see these 5 streams of water either coming in or out of the cup? Those are your 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, and 2 ears, hearing. However, All of this is water. All of this is intuitive. So you see this white dove? This is the divine. This is Kether. This is your divine. This is God. This is divinity. This is the gods. This is the angels, your ancestors, the divine, feeding you with manna, feeding you with a spiritual ability that fills even your physical senses. You've got spiritual gifts, and even your five senses benefit from the outpouring of the divine in you. Empaths, clairvoyance, clairaudience, just as many physical senses as you have spiritual senses. And it's a time for you to start using your spiritual senses. This is such a reading for me. And I just keep saying that I hope that it also benefits the rest of you, because this is definitely coming out and playing out based on the things that I've been pondering about my own personal self. And maybe I wanted to share it with you guys because I needed to hear myself say it out loud so that I could receive it and hold on to it. But my intention is that everything that I do and that I benefit from is mutually beneficial. You've got gifts. You've got spiritual gifts. So there's no use in you being afraid to trust your intuition and to trust that you are the high priestess and that you have just as much spiritual wisdom as any outside source that you accredit to being more wise than you. And it's time for you to stop doubting and second guessing yourself and second guessing the decisions that you make. Even if you're making decisions that you know are based on your intuition and you feel foolish by doing so because it doesn't look right in the tangible world, let it go. Let go of that worry, let go of that concern, and work on healing your confidence in yourself. Um, okay, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm just going to say, oh, you know what? Before I wrap it up, let me pull an oracle card. I'm going to pull an oracle card or two. My Moonology oracle card, since I'm talking about the new moon, and since the first card that I pulled was the moon card, and the message had to do with intuition and trusting your intuition. I think that's going to be the title of this video. Trust your intuition and let go of doubt. Let go of indecision. Let go of the fear that you don't have enough spiritual influence or internal wisdom to make the right decisions. Trust that although you don't have all the answers on this journey, it's okay to let go of control and still take the journey. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're alive, you're on an uncertain journey. None of us know whether we'll be dead or alive tomorrow. None of us know whether we'll be, you know, in the same predicament tomorrow as we're in today, because life happens and a lot of things or some things are out of your control. So even life is a journey of unknowns. However, we do have our intuitive faculties to help guide our decisions and our actions. And a lot of us have been paying our intuitive faculties dust and not giving them the same amount of respect, or not holding them as having the same amount of weight as our physical senses. And if you have spiritual gifts, like in the Eight of Cups, if you are a spiritual practitioner, like myself, that is going to be your downfall, is not trusting your intuition and not trusting in your spiritual gifts. Because we don't work in 3D. We don't work all the time with tangibles first. We don't go by sight and then have faith. We manifest. We manifest things out of nothing. And not even out of nothing. It's out of what we perceive in the spiritual realm. We bring it down into the material realm. And if this is your purpose in life, if this is your life path, and if this is your calling, then the only way that you can have any type of material comfort is if you bring it down, because you operate up here in another realm. You've got to bring that other realm down to you, to where we exist right now. And that's why it's important, if any of my subscribers are spiritual practitioners or extremely intuitive and have intuitive capabilities and gifts and skills that they don't feel like they should use, or they're cynical about using. You have to use them if you want to manifest the life that you desire. If you don't use them, then you'll be stuck in the 3D realm with only hopes and dreams. Because your hopes or dreams are things, are your blessings, but you have to go up there and pull them down. And that's why you have all of the spiritual abilities to do so. But we live in a world, in a society where it's very 3D. We live on Earth. We live in a material realm. And so our society doesn't value the other realms. And it can be difficult, which is why we go through so much indecision and so much mental back and forth, so much questioning the decisions that we make, because we're making them based on things that are not necessarily a part of the realm that we live in, but it is our ability to manifest in this realm by using them. So let go this new moon. Let's work together to collectively release blockages and obstacles and beliefs that no longer serve us anymore. Let's do it together so that we can raise up our vibrations together, that we can elevate our minds together. It's more power in numbers. I'll pray for you if you pray for me. I'll pray for you to be able to release things that no longer serve you on a collective level. That's actually what I'll do today. And you can pray for me to be able to release the things that keep me from serving my purpose, which is what I'm doing now. And I almost didn't do it this entire weekend, just because it was one of the things that I felt like I needed to let go of, because I made a decision to take this leap of faith despite the pushback that I was going to get from some of my loved ones, and despite all of the changes that I would have to make to myself and my lifestyle and my surroundings and what people were going to think about it, and if I was crazy, or if, you know, I have all the tools I need in order to do this job. I started to doubt myself and I started to worry, and I almost threw my whole gift away, my whole purpose away. But here I am, pushing through. I'm doing this because, like I said, in order for me to not dwell on things that drive me to be anxious or worrisome. I have to focus on giving. So I decided to do this video for my subscribers, the people that are the manifestation of what I've been doing. Let me give back to you the same way that you give me hope. Every time I want to give up and I see that I have 105 people who enjoy my content, who watch my videos, and who feel like there's something that they stand to gain from what I'm doing. So I just dropped an oracle card and I'm going to keep it. Your dreams need a practical plan. What's that smell? A time to give rather than to take. We'll pull another one, another two. A win-win outcome is forecast. Last one. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse, full moon in Libra, new moon in Virgo, full moon in Taurus. So your dreams need a practical plan. I was just saying that as spiritual practitioners, what we do in order to make things manifest for us is all of our dreams and goals and visions and things like that. We have to pull those down from the spiritual realm in order for us to be able to manifest in this realm. A lot of other people who aren't on this path, they can go to work, they can have, it just seems like material comforts are just there. Everything is practical in this society because we live in a practical world. However, for people like us, everything that we want, all of our desires and everything we need, we see it first. But then we have to work to make it manifest by using the gifts that we have. And if your gifts are spiritual, don't forget, like I said with the Ace of Cups, that even your physical senses benefit from your spiritual gifts, your spiritual senses. So use your spiritual abilities to manifest your dreams in this world, in this realm. And this is the message to me, and it's a message to you, because I had all of these ideas about things that I've always wanted to do, but until I was ready to actually take the steps and do them, creating this page and doing the readings and things like that, until I was ready to step out on faith, which is something that I didn't have a lot of as much as I thought I did, then I guess I won't reap the rewards unless I actually do the things that I desire to do and that I'm being called to do. So if I feel like, or if you feel like you have a calling, don't think it's too out of your reach, especially if it involves spiritual matters or things that are unseen. Have faith and create what you see in your mind's eye. Create the dreams and goals that you have up here and in here. Whatever you see up here and in here, make it manifest. Turn it into something real. A time to give rather than to take. This is definitely for me. Because like I said, when I'm anxious and worried, the best way for me to work myself out of that is to give, is to be of service. New moon in Virgo, and I was talking about at the beginning of the video, my sixth house, which is ruled by Virgo, the house of service, the house of physical service. It's also where my anxiety comes at. So that's probably why I say when I'm anxious and worried, I have to give. I have to do something of service. Sixth house in Virgo. Okay, but if you struggle with the same things I struggle with, try this. If you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're worried about things, if you're worried about how to make your dreams practical, do something for somebody. Find a way to be of service to someone. Find a way to give to someone. Because when you do that, it's a win-win situation for everybody. For one, you're no longer that focused on the things that were worrying you and blocking your manifestation, because worry blocks your ability to manifest, because it blocks your ability to take action. So not only do you benefit, but so do other people. A time to give rather than to take means a win-win outcome for everybody. And conclusions are in reach. This has a full moon eclipse, but we're headed towards a new moon. And so if there's anything during the latest eclipse that we had on June 10th, or the full moon that we just had that came after this full moon eclipse, if there's anything that you decided on, something that you wanted to manifest, something that you wanted to start, something that you wanted to create, or any decisions or realizations that you came to during the full moon eclipse or the full moon, whatever is obstructing that, whatever is blocking that, let it go during this new moon. Work towards letting it go during this new moon, so that the next full moon you can fully manifest the things that you desire without anything that was keeping you from doing that, blocking that. And that is my message for today for my subscribers. I hope it came out in a way that you understand it, because I feel like I might have been all over the place. But I hope you got the message, the overall message, because everything that I pulled today worked towards a singular message, and that is trusting your intuition, your intuitive gifts and abilities, trusting yourself, and not second guessing yourself, because that is blocking you from being able to manifest the life and everything that you desire. And if you get anxious, if you get worried about things that you can't see and about things that you feel like are out of your control but that are happening to you, a way to offset that, and I know this because I do it, is being of service. So find a way to give to someone so that you're not focused on yourself so much. That is a win-win situation by being of service. I know that because I do it, which is why I'm doing this video. And you guys have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday, and remember that I will be praying for the collective all week, all towards the new moon. I will be praying on all of us, working towards letting go of things that don't serve us anymore. Beliefs, habits, second guessing, relationships, anything that is no longer good for us and where we're going, even if we don't know completely where that is. Let's work on releasing that burden or those burdens. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.